If you come across an attractive person who has a good personality and you start feeling attracted to them, your initial thought might be that there is something about this person that draws you in. However, you would not think that this person could be a criminal. But what if I were to tell you that there is someone among us who has used their attractive personality to lure and kill 12 to 25 people by giving them drugs and burning them alive? How would you react to this information? Today's video delves into the chilling crimes of a notorious criminal whose mere mention can send shivers down your spine. Stay tuned till the end to hear the story of a once handsome man who transformed into the world's most evil serial killer. Charles Sobhraj, born Hatchambana Gurmukh Charles, was a bright child but chose to use his sharp intellect for stealing and other unlawful activities instead of focusing on his studies. As a result, he was unpopular in school, and his parents hoped he would find his way as he grew older. However, as Charles entered his teenage years, his small crimes escalated into more significant conspiracies, leading him down the path of a criminal. At the age of 19, Charles was imprisoned for attempting to illegally enter a building in Paris and engaging in other criminal activities. His time in jail proved to be a turning point in his criminal journey as he met wealthy prison volunteer Félix Descone, who provided direction and support for his sinister intentions. Charles possessed a magnetic personality that made him believable to anyone he encountered, allowing him to manipulate and deceive others with ease. Charles extensively studied authors of history, psychology, law, and philosophy, such as Carl Jung, to enhance his manipulative skills. Utilizing these techniques, he ensnared Félix, eventually becoming his close friend. Their relationship proved valuable as Félix aided Charles in escaping prison and even became his roommate. As Félix possessed a significant social network, Charles was able to attend high-class parties, which allowed him to make contact with the criminal underworld. While at these events, Charles would deceive attendees and pilfer their belongings. It was at one of these parties that he met and married a Parisian woman, whom he had manipulated into loving him. Unbeknownst to her, Charles was a dangerous criminal. Following his arrest for stealing Félix's car, Charles and his wife fled to Asia, where he believed the laws were lax and bribes could buy police protection. In Asia, Charles committed horrific crimes that would strike fear into anyone who heard of them. Whilst traveling in Eastern Europe, Charles added a new section to his criminal repertoire known as confidence scams. In these scams, he would assume the role of a traveler and search for victims on Greece's beaches or Afghanistan's hippie trail. Charles would engage in conversations with potential victims, taking note of their interests and engaging in discussion on those topics to gain their trust. Once trust was established, he would proceed to rob them of their valuables and important documents such as passports. Unlike other serial killers, Charles did not have an affinity for blood and dead bodies. His love for adventure fueled his criminal exploits. He continued to engage in crime even after the birth of his daughter in Bombay in 1970. To make ends meet, Charles engaged in activities such as stealing, gambling, and smuggling. He was caught after stealing a car and robbing a jewelry store called Hotel Ashok. However, his manipulative personality enabled him to easily convince others to help him escape from jail. Charles would fake illness or even dig holes to escape confinement. Numerous counterfeit passports were discovered concealed in his locker. Naming accidental drug overdose as the cause of death for over 20 individuals is an act of extreme wickedness. But it doesn't stop there. It's hard to fathom, but this serial killer resided in the luxurious accommodations of a 5-star hotel within India's most dangerous prison, Tihar Jail. When Charles fled from Thailand to India, he was accompanied by Marie, Barbara, and Mary Ellen, 2 other attractive women who were part of his team. Together, they initiated a scam targeting French tourists and attempted to provide drugs to numerous French students, resulting in their arrest and a 12-year prison sentence. They were confined to Tihar Jail in Delhi, where Charles attempted to manipulate the situation by bribing guards and living a luxurious lifestyle. Charles conducted several interviews while incarcerated, generating income and gaining more respect than the jailers and guards. Upon finishing his 10-year sentence, the criminal distributed sweets to everyone on his birthday. However, he had secretly mixed sleeping pills into them and attempted to escape from prison. Unfortunately for him, he was caught again, resulting in an increased punishment. This begs the question: why would a criminal purposely trap himself? As it turns out, the police in Thailand were still searching for him, and if he were released from prison, he would inevitably be caught and punished in Thailand. It is now evident that this was a well-crafted scheme. Upon his release in 1997, Charles returned to France and resumed his life there. His involvement in movies like Serpent and books detailing his experiences turned him into a celebrity in France, earning him thousands of dollars. However, his newfound fame was short-lived, given that a criminal cannot evade the law forever. It was only a matter of time before he was caught. In 2003, during his trip to Nepal, fortune seemed to have deserted him as he was apprehended for a murder he committed in the 70s. Consequently, he received a life sentence, and despite his repeated attempts to escape from prison, he remained incarcerated to this day. It is rumored that he tied the knot with a Nepali woman aged 20 who is closely monitored. There have been numerous books and movies produced about Charles. The question remains, what led him down the path of becoming a serial killer? Some speculate that it may have been due to the traumatic experiences he faced in childhood. Charles was born to unmarried parents, and shortly after his birth, his father abandoned him. This abandonment greatly affected Charles, causing him to experience intense emotional distress. He would often scream and wander the streets while thinking about his absent father. It is thought that Charles became a serial killer as a result of the trauma he experienced. This unsettling individual gave numerous interviews, and from these interviews, it appears that he lacked any sense of empathy or compassion. In one interview, Charles stated to Richard Neville, "I have already taken what is best for me from the past, which helps me live in the present and prepare for the future. If I revisit a murder, it is solely to examine the techniques I used and to learn from them. I do not even notice the body." Upon hearing his statements, it appears as though he is treating the topic of murder as if it were a mere joke. Although there have only been reports of 12 to 25 murders, the true number remains unknown. What are your thoughts on this matter? Feel free to share them in the comments section. Additionally, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing to Big Brain Co. for more similar content.
What do you think really happened to Abby Connor? Share your opinion in the comments.